Arizona, are you ready to legalize marijuana? Here is some important information you should know. There are two marijuana initiatives competing with each other for your vote. One is an out-of-state sponsored corporate investor-driven initiative that seeks to establish a marijuana monopoly for a small group of wealthy dispensary owners. This initiative is known as the Marijuana Policy Project Initiative, or the Campaign to Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol. The other is sponsored by Arizona citizens and activists. This initiative is known as Arizonans for Mindful Regulation, or the Campaign to Legalize and Regulate Marijuana. The Marijuana Policy Project is responsible for the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act as well as the detrimental 25-mile rule.
The 25-mile rule came in and knocked out everyone's ability to grow plants. To see the shockwave of devastation that caused when we were just igniting.
Under the AMMA, medical marijuana patients can grow 12 plants at home as long as they live outside of a 25-mile radius of a dispensary. At first, everyone had the right to cultivate because no dispensaries existed, but as soon as they started popping up, all of those patients would now be committing a felony and facing arrest if they continued to cultivate. The Marijuana Policy Project claims to be doing a good thing. They say they are ending prohibition by regulating marijuana like alcohol. But according to local activist Dave Wisniewski, their campaign is overwhelmingly deceitful. They are lying. They claim to end prohibition. They are not ending prohibition. Arizona's marijuana prohibition is a law called ARS 13-3405. To end prohibition, you would be required to remove or repeal ARS 13-3405. However, the Marijuana Policy Project-sponsored initiative leaves this law completely intact. Instead of removing this law, they are placing their law on top of it. So whatever is covered under their law is legal, but what is not mentioned will default to the still active prohibition underneath, which is unarguably some of the harshest marijuana laws in the nation, completely riddled with felonies. With all these felonies in place, it gives police officers incentive to continue hunting down cannabis users and putting them in jail. Supporters of the AZFMR group also claim that even the name, Campaign to Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol, is a lie, and here are some examples why. In Arizona, there are approximately 1,600 retail alcohol outlets. However, the Marijuana Policy Project initiative only allows for 160, which is only 10% like alcohol. Today, most patients do not get the majority of their bud from dispensaries. This means that currently the dispensaries cannot accommodate their patients. What do you think is going to happen when they go from 80,000 patients to 3 million legal users overnight with no meaningful increase in availability? The black market's going to explode. And with Sheriff Joe Arpaio's Operation No Drug Bust Too Small, they expect to see an increase in arrests for sales and cultivation. It is legal to brew beer at your home, and our city councils do not have the authority to prohibit citizens en masse from brewing beer. However, in the Marijuana Policy Project initiative, your localities, which are your city officials, have the authority to prohibit their 6 plants of home cultivation if they feel it is a nuisance. And typically, city council members tend to be prohibitionists, so we can expect that locality control over home cultivation will be the new 25-mile rule. Also, selling beer to your buddy without a liquor license is currently illegal. However, it is a Class 2 misdemeanor, which is just a fine. But the MPP initiative does not cover unlicensed marijuana sales, so selling even one joint of unlicensed marijuana defaults back to prohibition, which is a felony arrest. With choked availability and prohibition still in place, AZFMR supporters claim that this type of regulation is worse than our current prohibition. The Mpps Initiative is a jailbait initiative designed to bait and trap cannabis users into serious prison time. But hope is not lost. Several months ago, AZFMR filed an initiative to compete with the Marijuana Policy Project that actually repeals prohibition, allows for 1,600 retail outlets with easier access to licensing, and allows the right to cultivate 12 plants per person that no authority can prohibit. Even if both initiatives make it on the ballot, the grassroots movement asks that you vote for their initiative over the MPP initiative. Vote yes on I-14 2016. You can volunteer at legalizemarijuanainarizona.org or come to any of their routine meetings.